Alright, boys and girls, welcome back to the drive-through special test review version. Just trying to give you some help with your practice test that you started. So, here are the questions that you answered. Number 21 says, the cube root of 81x to the 5th y cubed over the cube root of 3x squared, okay? Well, sometimes it's in our best interest to split up the radicals, and sometimes it's in our best interest to combine them. In this one, I think I'm going to combine them first, although I wouldn't necessarily have had to. So all I'm going to do is write them all under one big radical. Okay, and now I can start canceling things. So 81 divided by 3 is just 27. Okay? And x to the 5th divided by x squared, well, that's x times x times x times x 5 times, divided by x times x 2 times, and that's x cubed. And then the y cubed just stays the same. So now we've got a bunch of perfect cubes. Okay? What number times itself 3 times, excuse me, this is all cube roots. What number times itself 3 times gives you 27? That number is 3. What number times itself 3 times gives you x cubed? X, y, and so the answer is 3xy. Okay? Number 25 is next. It says the cube root of 6x squared y to the 4th over 2 times the cube root of 5x to the 7th y. Okay? Alright, so this will be tough. I don't see a whole lot I can take out, so once again, I'm going to combine these. So what I need to do is consider this 1/2. That's where this 2 on the bottom came from. We could consider that a 1 outside of there, times the cube root of 6x squared y to the 4th over 5x to the 7th y. Okay, all right, well, that's going to be 1/2 times the cube root. 6 and the 5 do not simplify. Remember that when you're dividing exponents, you subtract them. So that's going to be gone, and we're going to get a 5th on the bottom. So 6 over 5x to the 5th. Okay? And then y to the 4th over y to the 1st is just going to be y cubed. Okay, so that's what we get. Now, we can rewrite this as 1/2, and I can tell you this is probably more difficult than anything that's on your test. So if you can just follow along with this, then you'll be in awesome shape. If you could do this, then you got a good chance to get 100 on the test tomorrow, I think. Okay? So you get 6y cubed over 5x cubed times x squared. See what I did there? I took my x to the 5th, and I broke it up into something that could be taken out. So now, on the top, I can take this y cubed and write it here. And I can take this x cubed and write it there. So we end up getting y, or 1y, over 2x times the cube root, and what do we have left? Of 6 divided by 5x squared. Okay, and that's tough. But honestly, I don't think there's anything on the test that's that difficult. Okay, up next we'll do number 31. And that says multiply 10 plus radical 6 times 10 minus radical 3. Okay? And so 10 times 10 is 100. This is just a FOIL problem, but it's a hard FOIL problem because we're going to have to multiply radicals. 10 times negative radical 3 is a negative 10 radical 3. 10 times radical 6 is a positive 10 radical 6. And then radical 6 times negative radical 3 is a negative radical 18. So on your test, make sure you write out that FOIL step because that's where you're going to get all your partial credit from. Now, 100, not simplifiable. 10 radical 3, not simplifiable. 10 radical 6, not simplifiable. 18 is. Radical 18 is the same thing as radical 9 times 2. So it's 3 radical 2. And that is your answer, oddly enough. Okay, because none of those things can be combined. Okay, that was, again, that was number 31. Up next, you've asked for number 43. (43) says x to the 1/3 over y to the negative 2/3 all to the 9th. Remember that when we take a power to a power, anyone remember what we do? We multiply, okay? And where does that come from? What is x squared cubed? Well, that's x squared times x squared times x squared, right? That's a 2. And that's x to the 6th. So notice that we could just multiply those two. So you get 9 times a third is 3 on the top. 9 times a negative 2/3 is, let's see, a negative 6. And if you write that like that on the test, I'm going to take it because I think we have to limit what I'm grading. But this is probably better off written x cubed times y to the 6th because the negative exponent gets moved to the top, and if you have a negative exponent on the top, it moves to the bottom if you want to make it positive. Okay? And finally, number 51. Oh, this is tough. Wow. This is probably harder than even the bonus question that's on. Okay. Let's see.